This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, just talking about the weather. It's really, for this time of the year, are you kidding me? It's going to be, it sounds like a little up and down, but pretty much in the 50 area for the highs right through almost the end of the month, right?
I think based on like the short-term stuff, it's going to be up mid 50s at some point today and tomorrow. Yeah. But then after that, it looks like it's going to be hovering in that kind of 20 to 35 range.
Yep.
For the rest of the
week.
Right.
Well, look at it this way. I remember 2 feet of snow on Halloween night when Andy was 5 and Alex was 3. I do remember that, walking through 2 feet of snow to get to someone's door on Halloween. That was what, 1991, I think it was?
Yep.
Yes.
1991. That was, God, I can't believe that was 33 years ago.
I hope Tevin and I are able to live through some sort of weather phenomenon like that.
Oh my God!
In our lifetimes, just so we can do this to like the younger generation when we're your age, Tom. Because I hear about the Halloween blizzard of '91.
Oh God!
It's like every month.
Oh yeah,
it's inevitable to bring.
Well, I understand that because it was weird. It was very, very odd. That was the same time, by the way, that I don't know who the hell it was. It was a Democratic Party or the politicians all or whatever. That was right about the time they decided to start going after me because the show had gotten way too big. It was the highest rated show in America. But they started going after me in that whole situation. And I just remember trudging through 2-3 feet of snow while hearing what an asshole I am. But, you know, I hear that from you guys anyway. So it's continued on.
And we love to echo that sentiment.
No, I understand. I understand completely. Then this morning, I tuned. Oh, by the way, the Viking game yesterday.
Yep. Yes.
To watch the Viking game yesterday cost me $600.
What?
Yep. I had to bring it up on YouTube, and I had to do a 3-month membership at $200 a month.
What?
$600.
What YouTube are you subscribed? Oh, I guess because it's technically like out of market.
Yep. It's out of market.
Yeah. Oh, because you would have to buy the NFL Sunday ticket.
Oh, you got to buy both.
Yeah.
Where you got to buy the ticket and who's carrying the game.
Oh yeah, because I was
like, wait a second. There's no way YouTube costs, but yeah, Sunday ticket that'll do it.
And in my head, it's turned on channel 4, but yeah, now regional wise, you were probably getting something else, so that makes a lot more sense now.
Do you hear that, Tevin? I watched it on channel 4.
I
Shut up,
I did,
pill. I've never liked you.
Yeah, $600 to watch a terrible game or performance from the Vikings.
It was not the best I've ever seen. I got to be honest with you. Not the best I've ever seen, but you know, I've seen worse. No question about it.
We at least won.
And I did try to watch the news this morning, and what I found out on watching the national news on all channels this morning, which, by the way, it's not the news, it's politics. CNN is blue, and Fox is red, and some of the other Newsmax, they tend to be, it's all political bullshit. It's not the news anymore.
Yeah, and which is ironic because the colors are like swapped. Like,
yes, exactly.
Like a red station.
Yep.
It was red together, blue, and vice versa.
That's very true. You're absolutely right. So I didn't know this because, as you know, I never got my ballot. And I'm assuming from looking at the news now that someone saw my name on the thing and threw it away. Catherine got hers. I didn't get mine. I can't, there's no reason on earth other than somebody threw it away that. But now we're watching on one side, it's all ballot counting and fake ballot counting. And I did a little research, and most things were called the very next day. You know, there was no, let's go through the ballots again. And a bunch of people now have owned up to cheating in Minnesota. That's really nice to hear. Counting ballots from people who should not have voted, which I'm not involved in this. I'm not a Democrat and I'm not a Republican. I like to hang out in the middle and watch them all just act like psychopaths. But so yeah, apparently a lot of people have owned up to the fact that they cheated, they counted ballots that were fake or not real on one. And I notice I'm not even telling you which side did that. And then you know, on the other side you got I don't know. It just, could we get somebody who didn't commit a crime? What do you think?
You're asking a lot there.
We have to have principles.
We elected a president that's got a track record of being in and out of court, whether you think he should be or not. So I don't think, that's committing a crime seems to be the standard to get into politics.
Can you name a president who wasn't or a president's cabinet, I suppose, a better way to put it, who wasn't involved in crime? No. Every one of them were. All of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure the conversation there branches off into like, which is crazy that we have to go into like the severity of the certain crimes involved.
Yeah, right.
But yes, I agree.
Yep.
But I mean, I looked at the whole situation, and the woke thing it always disgusted me. But then the far right leaning stuff disgusts me too. He picked a bunch of people. I'm not at all in favor of him picking Matt Gaetz. I don't know Matt Gaetz, but just the way he looks slimy to me. He's got that, those real closed eyes, that kind of deal.
His head is massive too.
He got a big head. That's
and I know, I see what I look like here, ladies and gentlemen. I want to point that out. So I say this, and if I'm self-aware and can say that, he's just an odd-looking man.
Yeah, he reminds me of the evil guy on The Incredibles.
Oh my, yes, the syndrome.
Yeah, that's what he reminds me of.
So you got Matt Gaetz. I'm not a huge fan of Pete Hegseth either. I know he's a Minnesota guy, and I tried to be nice to him, but he was just incredibly arrogant. And I'm like, you're on a news channel. Ooh.
Not to mention, he's the weekend guy. He's not even the main weekday.
Is he a weekend guy? I didn't even know that.
From my understanding, yes.
The overnight guy.
Just chill.
These are not my kind of people in general. I do understand that. So we'll see how it all comes out. Everybody, the world's coming to an end, or it's going to be a much better world, or it's going to. I did not know this, however, because I did some research after seeing this on a local news station, that there are many states in America where unions run the education department. I didn't know that. That's not a good idea.
Like you mean like the teachers union?
A lot of unions. I don't go deep into this. These are not my beliefs. I'm just telling you, I'm passing along to you what I found on several different news channels. There's not a lot of real good news right now. We're all going to die and burn and perish and all the rest of it. Everything's a goddamn disaster. But I did see, to close that part of it, because it'll segue into the next part of what I want to talk about, which is craziness in the United States. Yeah, there are people just coming right out and saying, hey, yeah, we cheated, and it's just the way it is. Whatever works, good for you. I'm real happy for you. And by the way, there was a woman that came on national TV last night and it said, I wish that white people would just give it up. You're all racist as hell. Just accept it. I got to be honest with you. I don't think Catherine, Alex, and Andy are all that racist. Tevin, as a black man in America today, do you see my family as racist? I mean, don't leave me out of it,
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's just where.
Yeah.
Again, with the amount of hatred that Catherine just glares at.
Yes.
Yeah. Putting a blanket statement over, like, not all white people are racist, not like all of any type of person or anything. Like, you have bits and pieces that are, but no. Let's say just all white people. White people have done a lot of good things for me in my life.
What I love is when I was called a racist, there were not 1, 2, or 3, but 4 black people on my show at the time. I'm like, why would I hire 4 black people if I was racist?
Well, yeah, it was just to prove how racist you are.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I'm their boss, so therefore they'll do what I say, these black people.
Yep.
I had to try to tell Sansevere what to say. You think that wasn't hard? Dealing with Sanny?
Trying to wrangle Sansevere, that's a full-time job.
Oh, my God. It was just hard-pressed is all I have to say.
Had your hands full, I'm sure.
No question. But, yeah, I mean, so every morning, and it's basically Monday morning, you wake up, and it's all, doesn't matter who you watch, because I watch CNN, I watch Fox, I watch Newsmax 2. I watch about 5 different channels, and all 5 channels, this side, that side, or all sides are filthy and horrible, and the world is going to blow up any minute. That's what I learned this morning. Okay?
Hey, I might welcome that explosion with open arms at this point.
It might be time. And then I run across this, and damn it, I wish that Josh Arnold was on the show right now. The headline this morning: how and when did Jews become white in the USA?
I'm like, what?
Maybe it's too early still, but that headline does not comprehend I can't comprehend that. I don't understand what's going on.
Haven't they always been?
That's the kind of way I looked at it. I have proven many, many times I don't give a rat's ass what your skin color is. I don't care. I don't care your orientation. I don't care about any of it. Just don't be an asshole. And by the way, most people use the exact thing I'm talking about to be an asshole.
Yeah, and I don't know. I feel like it's a weird. Like, I don't go around taking inventory of like,
no.
Hey AJ, what's your religion? Are you straight, gay? Like, what? Like, I don't care. Like, hey, are you a decent person? Okay, cool. Then I don't care what you are. Like, just be a decent person.
I think it's weird if you do that. It's genuinely concerning if you go around and that is like a constant like bumper on the brain of like you trying to analyze what somebody is and who they follow and religion. Like, just go. I have so much stuff going on in my day. I can't even.
It's true.
It's ridiculous.
I had somebody ask me like a couple weeks ago, like what percentage black I am.
What percentage black?
It was a white lady, like whatever, like a coworker of mine, and I go. My response to her was like, "What's an acceptable percentage for you?"
I like that a lot. Well, what would be good if I were that percentage?
What is a tolerable level of blackness for you?
I just, honest to God, it's just unbelievable. Unbelievable, the people and it's getting worse instead of better.
Yeah.
They claim it's getting better. Oh, yes, we've gotten this all under control. No, you don't. Oh, and by the way, before we move on here, from how and when did Jews become white in the USA? Damn it, why don't we have a Jewish guy that's going to do the sports in a couple of minutes? I could go after him. When did you become white?
Yeah, we could. Yeah. How long has Phil Mackey been white? Find out next segment.
You know what? We can leave it right there. I'll close with this line. There was a time when Jewish people were not recognized as white in the USA. Well, that hasn't been for the last 73 years, I can promise you that. Must have been before that. I'm trying to learn how and when this changed. Was it a legal situation? For example, Syrians went to the Supreme Court to petition for white racial status, and it was generalized that Middle Eastern would be categorized as white in the U.S. and census, even though socially some do not consider them to be white. Who gives a rat's ass socially what? I don't care what you think. Jesus. Socially, you're not accepted as white. Blow it out your ass. How about that?
That's crazy. Like a group of people just going, should we write a letter to the government and see if we can let them tell us that we're white? Like, just let's go.
It's just so insane. I don't care about any of that. People think you do, though. You know, I don't know of, like, I was just thinking about this just now. I don't know for sure because I never asked, but I don't think there was a gay person in my mother's family or my father's family. Now, there could have been, and I just didn't know about it or whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't, not that I know of anyway. But I also never went around and checked. Say, Uncle Augie, who do you stup? You know, I don't do that. I didn't do that as a little kid. First of all, he was, 6? He's the one that was thrown off a building, so I really didn't want to piss him off, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That would make sense. But this election now, I was hoping after the election, everything would settle down. Look, the people voted. Blah, blah, blah. And now there's an argument about did the Trump administration get 50% of the vote? And I just, how do you win if you don't get 50% of the vote?
Well, the Electoral College
Oh, that's true.
Well,
yeah,
technically, the popular vote, you could lose that, but then still have them 270 to take the office. But it sounds like from the counting that I've seen, like he has won both of them. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought it wasn't even close. So like, what are we doing? Still,
this is on X. X is having a big battle over it this morning.
Oh, Elon.
But it also shows you, it's not Elon, it's the guys who hate Elon. That's who it is. They hate Elon on his own site. But yeah, I don't go on social media a lot. Like yesterday I went on social media to talk about or the weekend, I should say, talking about, hey, could you recommend any movies to watch or shows to watch or stuff like that? And man, got some great suggestions. Watched a lot of great TV yesterday, as a matter of fact. We'll talk about that during the show, but I just don't like the fact that here, Uncle Tommy will close with this. I don't know when Jews became white in the USA. I thought for the last 70 years that they were white, but I don't care either.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing. I do not care in the least what your skin color is. It's just whatever. You can make a lot of money, I suppose, if you push hard enough, though. Is there like a honky man push where people would send me a lot of money by claiming to be a honky man?
Tell you what, I'll start scheming.
Okay.
Maybe not scheming is the right word, but
No, I like scheming.
I'll start something up during the break. I'll start thinking on it. And we'll get you in position for some of that dough to roll in.
You know what I'm going to do with this headline? How and when did Jews become white in the United States? I'm going to cross out the EWS and put in U. Put in a couple other letters so it'll say, how and when did Judd become white in the U.S.? And then I'll put it on the show tomorrow. What do you think? Just before the sports.
I like that.
Hey, when did you become white? I didn't notice that.
I'm sure Judd would love that.
Well, I'm sure he would. He'd like to get involved in that kind of thing. I'm absolutely certain. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, settle down. I don't give a rat's ass. Man, woman, black, white, yellow, green. What the hell ever. I don't care. As long as you're not an asshole, I don't care what you are or who you are. Right?
Absolutely.
Just don't be a prick.
Boom.
That's it, which means most people in radio, television, and newspapers are out.
I think just most people in general.
Yeah, most people in general are out anyway. All right, we'll take a break. Come right back with some sports guy. Yeah, I think his name Jew. No, Phil. That's what it is.
Yeah, I was gonna say not since I last checked, but
Philanthropic.
maybe he changed over the weekend. You never know.
Well, he could have. If he's wearing a yarmulke when he pops on, we'll know. You know what I mean? South Dakota, one of the most business-friendly states in the country, and there's no better place to settle down and take advantage of those incentives than in Sioux Falls. As the state's largest city with a metro population over 290,000, Sioux Falls has low business costs with a high quality of life. There's no state, corporate, or personal income tax, no inheritance tax, and no limits on what your business can achieve. Sioux Falls, South Dakota was recently ranked the #1 best small city for business and careers by Forbes, #2 best state business for tax climate by the Tax Foundation, and the #5 top state for e-commerce by Nexus. As one of the Midwest's fastest growing cities, Sioux Falls has a robust growing job market. No matter where you're at in your career, we have an opportunity waiting for you. Our city's tax-friendly climate and strong workforce don't go unrecognized. Forbes named Sioux Falls one of the top small cities for business and careers each of the last 15 years. In 2020, Sioux Falls also ranked as the #4 best city for young professionals, like Tevin and AJ, you know. How does South Dakota stack up against other states? We rank second in the nation for the lowest cost of doing business, the most business-friendly state, and the best business tax climate. And as South Dakota's biggest city, Sioux Falls is at the center of these benefits. Now is the perfect time to make your move to Sioux Falls. Visit SiouxFallsDevelopment.com.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they taught you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Let's take a second to talk about my bank. That'd be North American Banking Company. Look, there's no shortage of banking options in the Twin Cities. You know that. If you're tired of being just a number to your big national banks, big national bank, be sure to talk to my friends at North American Banking Company. That would be Bill Ski. They offer the same online and mobile banking options as other banks, but with the unparalleled service of a community bank. I also like being able to go to any of their 6 Twin Cities locations, Roseville, 50th and France, Hastings, Woodbury, Shoreview, and Maple Grove, of course. So if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
I did look for the answer, when did Phil become white, but I couldn't find it.
Out of the womb of my great grandparents, I'm sure, back to the Irish heritage. Yes.
God, how did that whole thing go? Give Ireland back to the Irish, give Lapland back to the Laps, give China back to the Chinese, and I can't finish it.
You lost me.
Well, you remember that song, Give Ireland Back to the Irish, don't make them have to take it away. That was Paul McCartney. You don't remember that song?
I was going to ask you who sings that, and then you were going to say Paul McCartney, and I was going to say let's keep it that way. But I didn't.
That way, Tom. Hey, when did you become white? That's what I want to know. Did you see the headline this morning? When did Jews become white in America?
Oh, no, I didn't. I must have missed that headline this morning.
No, it's out there nationally. So it's a national headline now. And again, I always thought they were. So what the hell did I know?
Boy, well, you learn something every morning. You learn something every time you open up the internet.
Well, I learned something every morning that I should get out of the business, but I never follow through.
What, are you thinking about getting out of the business?
Well, no, actually, I just talked to the management team here at Hubbard. By the way, you guys, and I may as well say this because, when I leave here, I'll be retiring. I'm not going anywhere else or whatever. But if you guys don't think you got lucky, and I'm not sucking up to anybody, I don't do that kind of bullshit. But most of these management teams of these big media companies are the dumbest human beings I have ever dealt with. Where do they come up with this bullshit?
Yeah. I've been with Hubbard for 15 years now, and I've always kind of said I'm either going to work for and with Hubbard, or I will go it 100% on my own. I don't have any desire to work for like another legacy media company, really.
No, I don't know most of these people, but it's like I think I did something to piss them off once, so they're gonna. In other words, here's why they do it, so they don't have to pay you a lot of money.
You know what though? If you're not pissing some people off and ruffling some feathers, then you're not memorable enough to be relevant in a business that trades on attention and audience building, right? So,
like look, here, a little lesson in what Phil's talking about. Nice hair, AJ. See, now that'll get us listeners. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or
just picking on AJ.
Yeah, or it's like when everybody complains about like ESPN always talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Like, oh, I hate the Dallas Cowboys. But they tune in to hate watch the Dallas Cowboys. So whether you love them or hate them, you're going to tune in regardless.
And if you want to tune in to hate watch this podcast, go online to youtube.com and subscribe.
Yes. You can watch this hateful podcast. Well, some people, just because I'm on it, I'm sure that some people think that it's a hateful podcast. I'm sure. There are people in this state that are absolutely convinced that I should have a tail and horns. Well, it's true. I mean, they're nuts.
You should wear a tail and horns for the visual audience. I think that'd be a good hook. Yeah.
Get it going. That'd be a magnificent. But again, those are the people, and it's not. Look, I love Minnesotans. I mean, not you three, but most Minnesotans.
I'm from Wisconsin.
That's right. He's from Wisconsin. I forgot. Tevin's from Wisconsin. But I just am not an ass kisser, and that really pisses off about 50% of Minnesotans. And again, 50%. The other 50% I like. 50% of Minnesotans are the biggest ass kissers I've ever met in my entire life.
Do you feel like Minnesotans, if we had like an index of which states kiss the most and least amount of ass, that Minnesota would rank very high on the highest percentage of people that kiss ass?
Yeah, very, very high, because it's part of the culture. I'm not going to say which culture it is, because I have relatives that's in that culture, but I am not. I just did. Well, look, it's hard to talk about effed up cultures when you're about 90% German, if you know what I'm saying. And I am. German, English, Scottish, and Irish. Nice combo, Tom.
It is a good combo.
Pissed off Nazi who's drunk.
You might be wearing a kilt and
drink like a fish.
And lederhosen at the same time.
And some lederhosen. Yeah.
Got to wear the lederhosen. Okay, so anyway, moving on to positive news. And look, I love Minnesota. I was born in Long Prairie, raised in Minneapolis, St. Paul. We still live there in the summer, and that's not what I'm saying. It's just there are certain people there that have such an edge to them. It's like, would you calm down, relax?
I feel like you've stumbled into a great potential, like, I don't know if it's a website or a business model here, the ass-kissing quotient, the ass-kissing ratio, the ass-kissing percentage, you know? Yep. We could do polling.
Where's the biggest ass-kissing country in the world, do you think?
But which state do you think kisses the least amount of ass?
New York.
Or Massachusetts.
Yeah, okay.
Those are the two. As a matter of fact, on my walk this morning, I met a couple from Boston. Couldn't have been nicer. But, you do know the boundaries. Like, just don't step over there too far. Yeah. So it all works out in the end. But, I'm going after people. Whenever I'm in a really good mood is when I attack people for things like, finding out that Jews are not white. I always thought they were, but apparently there's a national article this morning that Jews are not white, but I thought they were. I don't care one way or another if they are or not, but it just got me in such a good mood looking at how effed up the world is right now. You just can't stop harming each other, can you?
I feel like also the goal of headlines, you saw this on the internet, I'm assuming?
I checked a number of spots. Yes, it's all on the internet.
I feel like we are in such a crazy clickbait internet society right now.
Yep.
That, in fact, whenever I open up, let me see what happens here. Whenever I open up like the MSN, like I have on one of my browsers, it takes you to like the MSN homepage. So yeah, here we go. I mean, every headline is I earned $200,000 at Google. Find out how. Click, 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 clickety click. Right.
There you go. Click, click.
There's another one that says, this is a Martha Stewart photo gallery. But it's like every headline is sensationalized 100 times more than it was, I feel like, 10 years ago. Yep. If you'd like me to click on the Martha Stewart photo gallery, let me know. It looks like she has a nice house.
So how old is Martha now? Like 80 or something?
Yeah, something like that. And this is the time of year when she shines because holiday season,
right.
Recipes, you need to know what candles to buy. You hit up Martha Stewart. And
83 years old.
She's a youthful 83.
Mm-hmm. She's a very youthful 83. And there are many guys that said, why don't you send her to a men's prison so I could be her cellmate? Right?
What?
Well, she'd keep it clean. She keeps everything nice.
What headlines are you clicking on now, Tom?
I just made that up. Moving forward with
see Tom's internet browsing history. Martha Stewart, men's prison cellmate. Yes.
I can't do it. I cannot go too far. I did this morning only because I saw those two headlines that everyone hates everybody else, and they said wokeness is dead, and everybody hates other people, and then are Jews really white? Those are the two headlines that stuck out to me this morning. So it's like, calm down. Who cares? Why don't we close with this part, and then we'll talk about the football game, because it wasn't that great a football game, to tell you the truth. I mean, they won, which is wonderful.
Did what they had to do. They did what they had to do.
Yeah, that's very, very true. But would everybody just relax and calm down? It's like, ugh. Well, before you popped on, I pointed out the fact that I don't like either side's picks. One side's claiming it was all cheating, and they were cheating, and they counted ballots. And then the other side, they got a bunch of people, not everybody. Like, I didn't know this, but Gelfand hates Vivek Ramaswamy. I thought if there was one guy he would like on the right, it would be Vivek. Calls him Vivek Ramasmarmy. That's what he calls him. Ramasmarmy.
He's a little smarmy. He's a big thinker. He's a big thinker.
He's a big thinker.
Can come off a little smarmy sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, it's more like he has kind of a condescending tone to the way that he speaks. I'm neither here nor there. He has.
Well, the family podcast, he used to come on started coming on like 3-4 years ago. Haven't had him on in a while now, so we should probably reach out. But he's a very nice guy.
Yeah.
Pleasant. I've already pointed out that I'm not a huge fan of Matt Gates, or I'm not a huge fan of Pete Hegseth, and he's from Minnesota. But how about did you see? Okay, I promise I'll shut up after this. But I saw so much over the weekend. What is the name of that thing, the Jerusalem cross or whatever it is that Hegseth has tattooed on his chest?
There's
name
of it?
For he has a cross tattooed on his chest, and it's just a cross, not a hanging cross. It's like, even keel. People thought it was a swastika. How is that a swastika? I mean,
I feel like we have to take like there's like 5 or 10% of the loudest wrong opinions that we need to just. Now, it's a free country, so those 10% get to say whatever they want. The problem is it's amplified more now than ever.
Yeah, it's true. All right, so the Vikings did win. The Vikings are only one game back from having the best record in all of football, correct?
They are. Yeah, they do have. Yeah, they have an 8-2 record, and now that the Chiefs lost yesterday for the first time, and the Lions just trucked the Jaguars 52-6. It was bad, yeah. So, and the Lions own the tiebreaker right now over the Vikings. So technically, they would be, even if you caught them, they would have the tiebreaker. But yeah, I mean, the Vikings are taking care of business against a terrible part of the schedule here. Mm-hmm. And Sam Darnold bounced back after a really bad game against the Jaguars, a bunch of interceptions. He was really good yesterday. So yeah, they're on track. And then they get the Bears next weekend. And weird things do happen when the Vikings play at Soldier Field.
Yes.
But that team is really close to firing its head coach. And they look like they got a field goal blocked yesterday at the buzzer to lose to the Packers. And so you should be able to get to 9-2 here and sweep this 3-game road trip next weekend.
Yeah, I would imagine that's probably 9-2 is not something I saw coming. I got to be honest with you.
No, not many people did. And then yesterday, the Timberwolves overcame a double-digit deficit. They hit a buzzer-beater game-winning 3, Julius Randle, who they acquired in the Karl Anthony Towns trade. So that was fun yesterday. I think the highlight of my weekend was trying to get Netflix to work on Friday night for the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul boxing extravaganza.
My God, what a disaster that thing was.
And Netflix, by the way, gearing up for NFL Christmas Day games and the rights to WWE Monday Night Raw program, which is millions of viewers. Mm-hmm. And they, like, literally nobody could watch this thing unless you were streaming. I think it was Antonio Brown, the former Steelers wide receiver, was inside the arena or inside AT&T Stadium, and he had a live stream of the big board for 6 million people watching on Twitter.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was a train wreck by Netflix.
If Netflix on Christmas Day ruins NFL football, I will be canceling my Netflix subscription. Like, get your act together. Like, if Amazon can figure this out, Netflix, you can figure it out. And then they gaslight everybody into putting that like fake internet test up. Like, hey, maybe it's your internet that it's not working. No, Netflix, it's you and your servers.
You're the common denominator.
Yes.
It's you. Look in the mirror. Yeah.
Okay, Phil, we'll close with the fact, and I already pointed out to the fellas this morning, but I'll tell you now. I am such a loyal Viking fan that in order to get the game where I am, cost me $600.
Wow.
I had to get the NFL package. I also had to get the YouTube package, and they both had to be at a minimum of 3 months at $200 a month. $600 to watch that game yesterday.
It's going to be worth it, though. When the Vikings go and beat the brakes off the Bears next weekend, it'll be worth $600.
600 used to be free, and now
if you're ever wondering how the NFL is doing financially, I think you just got your answer. Right?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Also, didn't they just lose a lawsuit where they were overcharging everybody for Sunday ticket? And
Yep.
had to get it back? Yeah.
Well,
So that's a reduced price that you that's like a post lawsuit price that you just got.
Yeah, it was $20,000 before the court case, probably.
Yeah.
Now it's only $600. So there you go. Phil, always a pleasure. We will talk to you again on Friday, sir.
All right, gentlemen. Sounds good. Enjoy your week.
You're a good man. Enjoy your week yourself. We'll take a break. Be right back. Do we know who's on next?
I got some bad news for you.
Oh, Jesus, Palomino. What has he got? Like syphilis?
I'm concerned to know whether or not he's just dead. I know he's not dead because he texted 2 minutes ago. But
is it his wife off of his phone?
He's still out sick today. He's hoping to be back tomorrow, but that's TBD. So we're going to come back and schmooze, it sounds like. No Eggert.
And he calls in with 2 minutes to go.
It was about 5 minutes ago, but
not
enough time for me to really make any magic happen, unfortunately.
We already covered the news, the national news.
Yeah, we can find some more stories.
Yeah, we'll cover some local news right after this. That'll be a good thing. But Chris, they hope you feel better. I'm sick of you. So what do you think? What do we know? He must have a pretty severe, it can't be just a cold or something for a week.
No, this is going to be like going on a week now for him. So I hope he does feel better, because any sort of like prolonged sickness like that, I'm sure takes a lot out of you.
We're going to need like a proof of life photo of him like holding up like today's paper.
We got to get that on there.
Prove to us that you're okay.
Hey, if you don't feel great, why don't you just ask your wife to give you a leg up? Oh, wait a minute.
Oh boy.
What?
I wasn't sure where that was going.
I just didn't know where that was going, and then
there we go.
I don't understand what the overreaction is to me wishing him well.
No, I hope he gets well as well. We need somebody to harass.
We do need somebody to harass. But I'm kind of glad it was today, because we ran, or I shouldn't say I ran 7 minutes over. So it's kind of a good thing, and he's not going to be on.
It's a team effort.
All right. Anybody want to volunteer to call in? Like, where the hell are Ross and those people? Lamos.
I just don't know if I can get all of them on that short of notice.
No, I understand that 100%. See, who's out of the business? Maybe we should call Passolt.
Let's just start cold calling.
Hey.
Well, we can't call Tom Ryder, because I heard he checked out last month.
No,
did he die? I heard he died. Did he die?
I'm not sure.
Tom
Ryder. Let's see.
He's not even that old, was he? Maybe he was older than I thought he was. I don't know.
Yeah, you're talking about the former Carol Evans sports anchor?
Yep.
Looks like, they have a memoir for him. So, it looks like he passed away.
Does it say how old he was? I didn't think he was that old. I thought he was like in the early 70s or something.
Or maybe he didn't die. Maybe he just wrote a book. I don't know. I'll do some investigating and we'll get.
Maybe he didn't die. Yes, he died. Well, wait a minute. Maybe he didn't die.
Well, you know what the good news is our guy Bob is going to be probably ready to rock here in about 7, 8 minutes or so. So
that's true.
We're not going to have too big of a hole to fill.
So we don't have real news. We'll have horrible news from Bob.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll take a break. Be right back. K&L Surplus and Ammo is your one-stop shop for all things firearm related, located on Lake Drive in Circle Pines. Jim, the owner, has over 25 years of experience, offers honest value. And I did say honest value because Jim knows what that's all about. I've been there several times. Great prices with free shipping on a huge selection of handguns, shotguns, plus AR and conventional rifles. Over the years, K&L has established the buying power of larger stores. That's what keeps the cost down. If you're looking for a firearm and need to stock in I think they meant stock up some ammunition, go to K&L Surplus and Ammo on Lake Drive in Circle Pines or online at www.klgunstore.com.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and chip issues all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? Inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
A large retail store, yes, I said a large retail store, just canceled a huge order, leaving MyPillow with a ton of extra MyPillows. But you know what? Matter of fact, I saw Mike. They did a big deal on Mike Lindell this morning and how just because people didn't like Trump, they started hating Mike Lindell. Like I said, Mike is if you knew how much money Mike Lindell gives to charities and to help people out, I don't think you'd dislike him. Mike's been a very loyal friend. You know what? That's their loss. It's your gain. For the first time ever, you will get a standard classic MyPillow for wholesale prices, only $14.88, but it gets even better. For a limited time, they're going to offer their entire classic collection at wholesale prices. Get queen-size MyPillows for just $18.88. Upgrade to king-size for only $1 more. Get the body pillows for $29.88 and multi-use MyPillows for only $9.88. So go to MyPillow.com and use promo code TOM or call 800-516-5146. Take advantage of wholesale pricing for the first time ever and receive free shipping on orders over $75. What do you think of that? That's right. Get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88. They have never been offered this low before. There are limited quantities at this price, so the limit is going to be 10, and once they're gone, they're gone. So go to MyPillow.com, call 800-516-5146, and use promo code TOM to get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88, the lowest price ever.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, AJ and Tevin brought to you by Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Mr. Money Talk himself. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. Let me ask you guys a question about that. Why is it, and it's always been like this, but it's much worse now. It's the most harsh it's ever been. Yeah. I personally wouldn't give a rat's ass what political party you're a part of, what your beliefs are. As long as you're a decent person who gets off their ass and does their job, I don't care. When did we get to that point where if you're not the exact same as I am, I hate you? What is that?
I think the biggest thing from this past election cycle is that I think some people came to the conclusion that they felt like, for instance, like bodily autonomy with women is more than just like a tax issue. It's, it's like,
right.
The right. So having a different viewpoint on that is not just a difference of opinion. It's more of they feel like it's more of an attack on them, which I'm not a woman, so I can't put myself in that position.
No.
Mm-hmm. But I can maybe understand where they feel like that's more hostile than the typical, I don't think we should send troops to this country type of thing.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, I don't really have an opinion. Like I said, it's none of my damn business what you do. And I think that's the way to approach it. It's that the government should have never gotten involved in that in the first damn place. But that was religion-based, I think, more than anything. It wasn't politically based. It was a religious-based thing. I've never been, here, I'll give you an example. Yeah. I've never been involved in an unwanted pregnancy. Nobody in my family ever has, so I don't know what that's like. Mm-hmm. So I don't even have an opinion on that. I don't know. I've never been through what you're going through right now, so it's none of my business, right?
Right. And I think, too, with like kind of you're either 100% on my side or 100% not on my side kind of mentality. A lot of the TV shows today are now debate driven, where you just get two anchors, whether it's sports, politics, the Food Network, whatever you're watching. A lot of the shows are,
that food sucks. No, it doesn't.
I think that this team is the greatest. Or if it's like a movie review, you'll get two critics that argue about, is this movie good? Is it not great? And so then people watch that all day, and then they get into their personal lives. And now you're going, well, everything I watch is a debate. So now, when I talk about politics with AJ, we got to debate till the death. And if he doesn't see it my way, well, you're just dead to me.
Okay, so I've mentioned this before, so I want to get you guys' take on this thing. But let me say, first of all, do you not understand if you go after somebody that hard and call them a horrible human being and they're horrendous and they should be fired, blah, 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 you're affecting their husband, their wife, their children, their grandchildren. You're affecting all these people that have nothing to do with what you're talking about, but you'll still harm them? What kind of person are you? Don't harm children by being that hateful, right?
Yeah. And
relax.
Kind of along those same veins, like everything that's going on with Diddy right now, like his kids are getting a lot of backlash as well. And it's like, they didn't really do anything. Because, coming out trying to, support their father a little bit, which I think is a natural thing, regardless of, what he's done or accused of doing. But people will then take their hatred for what Diddy's actions were and then, put that on his kids, which is unfortunate. So people are, psychotic these days.
And the thing about it is, what Tevin's talking about, these kids already have a father named P. Diddy. I mean, their life already sucks.
Yeah, or Puff Daddy. Like
Puff
It's just a string of questionable
Buff
names.
Daddy. I just wish we'd get the hell away from. Okay, let me give you an example. Let's think, because you guys must, well, Tevin doesn't because he's been around a long time, but AJ, I'm sure you heard before you came and we got to know one another that I was a way far righty and oh, he's nuts and oh my God, he's a terrible person. Oh my Jesus. Where is the proof of that? I was never a far right Republican anyway. The only reason I left the Democratic Party is because it attacked me and was a bunch of bullshit. Okay, so here, let's assume that well, I'm not going to assume that I'm on the right because I'm not. I'm kind of stuck in the middle looking for good things from both sides, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, who do I work with? Tevin, you're probably a Democrat.
Sure. Yeah.
AJ, I know you're a Democrat because you and I have talked about that before.
Yeah, I would say I lean more to the liberal side on most topics, but I wouldn't say like I'm steadfast. I'm not budging on my opinion.
Just writes Democrat on his ballot and hands it in.
Yeah,
exactly. That's it. Okay, I don't know about Phil Mackey. I've never talked about that. Or Chris Egger. Chris really, I don't see him as being, far off the middle. Bob, I think, is a bit conservative. You got Kristyn Burtt is definitely, she's probably far left. I mean, when you add up all the people I work with, it's about 75% Democrat. Mm-hmm. If I was such a hardline prick of a Republican, why would I agree to work with any of you?
Right. And my thing that always got me is when people would say like, or when you would say like people call you this, that, and the other thing. Mm-hmm. I remember first going on the show back with my House of Comedy days. I was like, I had no idea who, like, I knew who you were, but I was like, I didn't realize you were like a rock star. I remember I had family that I had never talked to in like years. Like, oh, you know Tom Barnard? Like, oh, you mean, the guy on radio that makes fun of me all the time? Yeah, I don't.
The guy who makes fun.
I was like, he's like, and then people were like, oh, well, did you hear about this, that, and the other thing? And I'm like, I don't know. He's a nice person to me. Like, whatever your experiences with him, that's between you guys. But like, I've never had any issues with Mr. Barnard.
It was so funny. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because a lot of people were wanting me, talking to me about working here or working there, and by the way, I'm going to be here for quite some time because I talked to Dan and Amy on the phone on Friday. Mm-hmm. I do love working for the Hubbards. I love Ginny Hubbard, and that's not just because, she owns the company now. I've known her since forever. But Dan and Amy are really great to work with and all the rest of it. But there are some people, the Honk the Wiener or whatever the hell some of these radio station companies are. I don't even know what the hell they're called anymore. What?
Honk the Wiener in the morning drive.
Honk Wiener.
Like clown nose.
But I mean, it's just, I'm going, and I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't even do this anymore, but every time this comes up, I just like, where do you get this idea? Oh, I could never work with him. You don't even know me, you dumb bastard. Right? When are we going to stop that? I mean, look, I had the highest rated morning show in America. This show, I love doing this show. I'm working with people, well, not all the people I work with I like, you know what I'm saying. Right. But when are we going to stop being so unbelievably mean to one another? Why do they want to be, are they just little fellas who are pissed off at the world that they're not, the heavyweight champion of the world? What's the problem here? You get it?
I don't know. I mean, probably a little bit of that, but yeah, some people just get enjoyment out of. Yeah. I was talking about this last night with somebody where he was like, plays video games, and he was like, some people like to just get online and play, Call of Duty just to yell slurs and MF little kids all day. And it's like some people are just wired different. Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Funny. Terrible. So, I mean,
Bob did all weekend.
Yeah, it's one of those whole kind of deal. I'm getting all these messages now. Why the hell am I getting all these messages? Maybe I'm pissing people off again. But look, I guess the only reason I'm bringing all of this stuff up is we don't even know each other. I don't dislike you. I don't think you should dislike me. You don't even know me. Calm down. Stop being so damn mean to everybody. I mean, it shows what a sugar tit you are. The meaner you are to people you don't even know, it just shows what a candy ass you really are. Because I got to be honest with you, And Tevin, I think you've seen me do it before. If I don't like you, I'll tell you to your face, I don't really care for you, so back off. I mean, that's just how I've always been, right? Just calm down with all this. Oh, it's a Democrat. Oh, it's a Republican. Oh, my God, it's this, it's that. Oh, everybody's horrible. Relax. Take it easy. Things are pretty good, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
I think so.
I mean, look, how about this? I'm going to give this an example as we go to break. At least you don't have to work with Bob Sansevere.
And you should
thank your lucky stars.
Yes.
Thank you, lucky stars. You don't have to, because we are going to bear the brute force of him after the break.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tevin and AJ, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk. Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. We shall take a break. Be right back. Sanny, whom I do love, by the way. I've always loved Sanny. Matter of fact, I spoke at his wedding, and I said, Mary, what the hell are you doing? What are you thinking? No, that wasn't it. It was something else. All right, we'll take a break. Be right back. Sandy will join us. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety from wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk, never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance, no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice, and I am a paid endorser.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Austin Bartz of Bartz Lawn and Landscape and Bartz Snow Sculptures.
I started banking with North American, I think, 3.5 years ago. All the people know me by name. I know them by name. It's fun to come into the bank and actually talk to somebody you know. So I made the switch and I'm very happy. It's the best bank I've ever been at.
So why not bank where I bank? With my friends at North American Banking Company. To learn more about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com. That's nabankco.com, or do what I do and stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Sansevere Sports brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant Personal Injury Lawyers seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at minnesotapersonalinjury.com. That's minnesotapersonalinjury.com. Sandy, what's the latest?
Well, the latest is what prompted that
What
rant.
prompted what?
And by the way, AJ, I heard everything you said.
Yeah, Bob, I'm feeling the brute force of it right now.
Yeah, Bob, what started it is I got up early this morning, got up at a little after 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
I went for a 4-mile walk. I got back and I tried to watch 4 different news channels, and it was nothing but spewing hatred. All 4 of them. It's just, I hate the other side. No, I hate you. No, you hate me more than I hate. God.
What you need to do is put on MSNBC with Mika and Joe, because they are kissing Trump's ass. They went to Mar-a-Lago because their ratings have tanked, and they said, we need to improve the communication. We have to get along. Yeah, now you say it.
Really, they're down to like 70,000 viewers, I heard.
Which is why they probably begged Trump to let him come to Mar-a-Lago on Friday.
Oh, because there's money involved.
Yeah, they're going to lose it. They're going to get tubed if they don't get a better relationship with him.
I just don't understand, once again, why you would want to hate somebody that... Look, Joe Biden's not my kind of guy. I don't hate him. There are some things I don't like about him, some things I do. I think it was kind of funny how happy he was when Kamala didn't win. Oh, he was very happy about that.
He was having a great time when Trump came to visit.
Like, whoa, Joe.
Tom, you'd have a tough time convincing me that him and Jill didn't vote for Trump. Or somebody else other than Kamala.
And I got nothing against Kamala Harris either. I don't know her. She's a very beautiful young woman. I don't know, whatever, her husband's a weirdo, but that's what Catherine says about me. So it all, fits in. No, I'm just sick to death of this spewing hatred at each other. And you're horrible. And oh my God. And now we're back to skin color again. And we're back to orientation again. It's like, would you people calm down?
Now, Tom, because I know we're not going to get political, but
I want to get political.
Okay,
let's go.
I've known Trump going back to the 80s when he owned the USFL team. I've told you, the guy has lied. He made up this John Barron character because he didn't want to be the hatchet man. But what happened to him, and there's plenty of evidence, the Russian collusion thing really was made up by Hillary and other Democrats.
Correct.
But people are basing their hatred for him. A lot of it is on that. It started with that.
Is it because they have small penises?
Well, I don't know. Some women might. Men. Women hate him too. Women hate him more than some men do.
I just don't
understand. Too.
Why would you waste your time on hating someone you don't even know?
I have no idea. Hatred is a bad thing because there's no reason for it. You're right. It takes up too much of your, your time to hate someone. And these women who are shaving their heads and refusing to have sex for 4 years. In a lot of cases, people are saying, how much sex did you have the last 4 years? when you get a gander at some of them. And there's some that are obviously good looking, of course.
Negative.
Oh, come on.
Bob, I got to be very honest with you. I can't imagine who would be elected president to get me to shave my head and give up the shtup for 4 years.
No.
Not happening.
Not happening, no.
The last thing on my mind while doing that is who the president of the United States is.
Exactly. No, Bob, I guess I'm at the point now. Look, the election's over. I know you're still counting ballots and you're lying about that. And then the other side's all pissed off about this. And could you show some leadership and strength by saying, look, you don't have to like everything about me. I try to do the best I possibly can, but I understand some people aren't going to like me. I'm I'm again president of the United States, or I'm not the president of the United States anymore, or whatever. Deliver a better message. You both, look, there are two guys sitting down laughing and joking and, hey, I really admire you. Well, I've admired you too. 30 days earlier, you're the devil. You're Hitler.
It's unbelievable.
What? You went from Hitler to, you're a great guy. What?
Did you see what Trump did the other night? He didn't just go himself to UFC, right? He brought along Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy. He brought Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr., his two kids. He brought the Speaker of the House.
Yeah, yep.
And they were going nuts. And I think a friend of mine told me this, and I agree. He was sending a message to the Senate. These are the people that voted for me. You better give me my appointments.
Yeah, I think. But again, so I guess that's why, because I did try. I was in a great mood. Like I said, I went out for a long walk, just had a wonderful time, ran into some people from Boston, very nice, talking about this. It was a wonderful morning, and then I tried to get the headlines, and it's not really news. It's political bullshit.
Of course
There's no news on the news anymore. There's no news at all.
No.
So would you all just calm down? Or could we invent a middling, actual delivering the headlines national news station?
I don't know if people would watch that.
Well, maybe not. You're probably right.
Because they want to see a slant. But I also think what's happened to MSNBC and CNN, both of their ratings have tanked. Mm-hmm. People need a break. Because all they're going to, they just need a break from it. Some of them have realized how wrong they were. Because they were telling him Kamala was going to rout Trump.
Right.
And it hurts now that it didn't. They raised the expectation too much. How about this woman in Iowa? it was Ann Seltzer, the one who was predicted the incredible predictor of presidential races, and she got hammered because she had Kamala Harris winning, and I think Iowa went by 10 percentage points to Trump. She is retired from doing polls. They all should retire because none of them are ever right. This is 3 presidential cycles in a row where they have absolutely blown it.
Yeah, I would never teach my children to hate somebody based on somebody else's political views. You don't know what kind of life they've lived. Look, I'm assuming since they're so desperate with all this woke stuff and all the rest of it, they must have had horrible lives before that.
Well, Tevin nailed it earlier when he said that he didn't know you, he met you. He based his opinion on what he said. That's how I base my opinion on people, on how they are and how they treat you. And that's, I mean, most of us are not going to, I did know Trump because I covered him when he owned that team, but not as a president or politician. I can only base it on what is my life and how, like when he's president, when Biden was president, and what impact is it? And that's how I base my thoughts on what they are. I mean, the years with Trump weren't that bad. The years with Biden really weren't that bad, but they were more of a little bit of a hardship in terms of economically and leaving the floodgates open to the border. And that was to me disturbing because people have died. There's no denying people have died because of that. Because between fentanyl and also there have been people that have been killed by people who were allowed to stream across the border. So that's what you look at. Don't listen to what other people say. Look at what you see and then make your own decisions.
That Lake and Riley audio, that is really hard to listen to, man.
It's horrible.
Oh, God, it's hideous. That guy should have never been here.
No, and so many should never be here.
Right.
But anyway.
Very sad.
I don't want to go off on tangents here. When the Vikings are 8-2, woo! Yeah, they better
8-2, Bob.
They're still playing to the level of the competition. And, okay. Just keep, and I'm sure all of you have noted this. Last week, they struggled to get by Jacksonville, right?
Yes.
A bad team. What happened when Detroit went in and played Jacksonville? 52-6. They did what a good team should do, a really good team should do to a lousy team. They stomped them. And that's what the Vikings should have done to Jacksonville and really should have done this past weekend. However, they will play when they play a better team. They will play up to the level of that team. That's why these close games. There's so many close games because of that.
We're hoping they'll play up to their level at this point.
Yeah, they do until they don't.
And here's the one thing to me, when you look at everything, they play down to the level of competition. But if Sam Darnold had regressed even more in this game, that would be a major concern. He didn't. I mean, he didn't play great, but a couple of touchdown passes. He had the touchdown run, and that was a really good pass to Jordan Addison. I still think I know he's getting double teamed, but great receivers do. They still got to get the ball more to Jefferson.
Oh, God.
There are ways to get the ball to him because he's such a dynamic player. I mean, that stat that he in 5, and it isn't even 5 seasons, and he missed games with injuries last year. Most receiving yardage in the first 5 years, more than any other player, including Randy Moss. I mean, I said a couple of years ago, well, could he ever be as good as Moss? When his career is over, it'll be interesting to see if people view him as better than Randy Moss and better than Jerry Rice. If he has longevity, he may go down as the greatest receiver in NFL history.
Yeah,
I think him the freaking ball.
Yeah, I think for sure. I think he could go down as better than Randy Moss because Randy Moss, I mean, incredible wide receiver, one of the greatest of all time. But he was more so known for, I'm just going to run a 4.240 straight down the field, and whoever my quarterback is, just throw it as far as you can, and I'm going to go get it. Where Justin Jefferson is more of a intricate. I think he's a better route runner than Randy Moss ever was.
And also, he has not yet said, "I play when I want to play."
Yes, no straight cash, homie. No, nothing like that.
He hasn't nudged or bumped a traffic cop or a woman that was putting a ticket on his vehicle.
Right.
Jerseys out.
Yep.
No, he's done not. He's been. I mean, he's been a great member of the community, and obviously he is a great receiver. So
no doubt about it. I mean, it was a fun game to watch. Again, $600 to watch it, but other than that,
what? You had to get the NFL package?
I had to get the NFL and the YouTube package to watch that, both of them for 3 months minimum, which at $200 a month comes to $600 to watch one football game.
Well, I'm told by people that there are other ways.
There are other ways?
Websites that stream the game. I don't know how they get away with it.
I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not a thief. That's like stealing from people. I don't like that.
Well, find a friend who steals, and you're not the one stealing.
That's a good example.
Okay, and here's the thing. Like for me, I could never figure out how to do it. You know what I mean?
Catherine had to do it. I had no clue what the hell I was doing. Believe me.
Well, Tom, Jeff wrote in. He was listening to the conversation. He said that he found that the Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV stuff can be done separately. So you may want to cancel your YouTube TV if you're not using that.
You could do it through. Do you have DirecTV? And I'm sure Dish as well.
I have DirecTV, but they didn't have the game in my area.
They have the
didn't
package though.
They have a package.
Yeah,
that's you buy the whole NFL package.
Game, yeah.
And what do you got? Like 5 games left?
7.
Oh, that's right, 17 games. I don't know. It's
and Sunday Ticket you can't get through DirecTV. It's Sunday Ticket is exclusively through YouTube.
So there you go.
So they did change it then.
And or you can get it on its own.
And I can't wait until Christmas Day to watch Netflix and all the buffering going on.
Oh, God. Okay, let's get to that, Bob, because that was the biggest scam in the history of sports.
How could you not be prepared for that? And also, not just that. How did that watching that thing with was it Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield? They couldn't have Holyfield's, his microphone or his headset working properly. How do you blow that?
It's unbelievable.
Bob, did you hear? So they're doing all of the kind of the lead up to the fight, and they're asking Holyfield what he thinks the outcome of the fight is going to be, and he kind of is mumbling around, stumbling around because like you're saying, he couldn't hear anything.
Yeah.
And so Lennox Lewis leans over and he goes, "Hey, do you think he's going to bite his ear?" And the whole set just erupts in laughter, and the lady that was the main the host of it, she's like, "Lennox, you can't ask him that."
Yes, he can. That's what they should do. And also, by the way, when they first started, I said to because my son was over with some friends, and Mary was my wife were watching. I go, "My God, they found somebody who looks just like Rosie Perez. Who knew it was Rosie Perez and she loved boxing?" I had no idea. But I'll tell you what, the woman is ageless. She looked like she was 60 when she was 20. She looked no different than when she was making White Men Can't Jump. So did you guys ever see that movie?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, you did, but did you? I'm wondering if the two lads did.
I've only seen clips, and I refuse to watch the new
one with Jack Harlow.
I can't.
It's not bad.
Really?
It's not bad.
There's another White Men Can't Jump?
Yeah, they did a remake. Jack Harlow, actor / rapper, white man in America
Heavier
today.
on the rapper.
Yeah.
Part, from my understanding.
Who'd he make it with? P. Diddy?
Cast. Oh no, that's a different. That's a.
I don't know. Oh, it's a different story.
Bob, part 3, according to the headlines today, is going to be called "White Jews Can't Jump." Did you see the headline today?
No.
It's got a national headline: Why are Jews white? It's like
what?
Yes. I mean, it's unbelievable. I can't wait to talk to Josh Arnold about this. No question about it.
I know what I'm asking Gelfand on Wednesday's BS show.
Oh, there you go, Gelfano. Oh, do yourself a favor. Bring up Vivek to him because he hates Ramaswamy.
Hates. Okay, I'd have to.
Hates him.
It might be a tie because he hates J.D. Vance too.
Oh, he hates J.D. Vance just as much. Yes, exactly. Yeah. See, now there's absolute proof. Bob and I both work with, and I love Mike Gelfand, but he is a psychopath. There's no question about it.
He may tilt a little bit to the off center.
Yeah, just a little. I'm going to ask him if he's white, though, when he comes in on Thursday. Well, you're a Jew. Are you white? That's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah.
All right, Sandy. What else is there? Yeah, so
the Vikings are the big. They got Chicago now, and they should win, but it's going to be close because they make every game close.
Yep, it's true.
The 2 games they lost, they didn't play horribly, and they kept them close. Mm-hmm. But it's just They have to figure out a way to get to where Detroit is, where you play a bad team and you just kill them. Killer instinct. You destroy them. And
I agree.
They can't get to that point. And that's unfortunate because, I mean, this could be another one-and-done season because in the postseason, let's just go back to a couple of plays in that game yesterday. How do you let Will Levis and this Westbrook icon or whatever the hell his name is beat you with a 98-yard touchdown pass? And then the Calvin Ridley play was another one. And by the way, if they didn't call that helmet-to-helmet, which it was not, the game could have been entirely different.
Oh, yeah.
The outcome of that game. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, the announcers were bitching about the calls a lot.
Yeah, there were a couple. There was the one early in the game where in the end zone where they called like an unnecessary roughness or something like that.
Helmet to helmet. That was not a helmet to helmet.
Yeah. And so
and also,
they were questionable.
By the way, the NFL, they review all turnover plays. Every play there's a flag in the end zone should be reviewed.
Yeah. Yep.
Because these guys, when it happens so fast, it may look like it's helmet to helmet, but it really wasn't after we saw the replays of it.
Yeah, and I mean, that one catch, his hand was underneath that ball, but I thought they weren't going to call it. But I said, man, because they didn't at first, right? But his hand was under that ball the whole time.
Yeah, that is the one thing about the NFL receivers, and it wasn't just Brandon Powell. These guys are unbelievable. The way they can make catches and the adjustments they make. It's absolutely stunning to watch what some of these guys can do to protect the ball. And then also the side, I mean, Chris Carter, Tom, I don't know, were you two guys were young children or children at the time?
Chris Carter is the greatest sideline catch receiver in the history. I used to watch his games and then go outside in the yard and, I'm Chris Carter.
I mean, I was never, because Chris Carter was a phony. The way his public persona. But if you said, who do you need on third down? I'm going with Chris Carter because he will make the sideline catch. He was unbelievable. And he's like the only player that, except for Jake Reed, who did get along well with him, every other teammate could not stand him.
Right.
Because it was all about Chris.
But Jake Reed liked everybody.
He did. Jake Reed was the only one who showed up when he had that Ring of Honor thing for Chris Carter. No other teammates showed up because they just a very prominent former Viking said he's the biggest a-hole I ever played with, and that was pretty much a unanimous appearance. It wasn't. Chuck never played with him.
No, that's right. Chuck never played. Well, by the way, I got to get on, and I dropped the ball on that one, Bob. There were some highlights of. I can't remember where they were running NFL Channel or something, of Chuck Foreman. What a superstar that man was. He was good.
Tom, I keep telling him, and he's warmed up to it, and maybe I got to get Mike Bryant to do it. Chuck Foreman cloning rights. You take him from the 70s and put him now. I mean, he would be the best all-purpose running back in the league.
He was phenomenal and one of the nicest men I have ever met.
He's still a great guy because I do a show with him every Thursday. Yeah, he's phenomenal.
I got to get on that show with you, Bob. I know I blew
Just
at the time.
tell me when. Because now what they've been doing and going to there's a studio right in downtown Hopkins because they're putting it on video like you guys do. And I keep telling them, you guys use StreamYard. They use Zoom like if they bring somebody in. This StreamYard works great. Or am I wrong? Yes. AJ, has it worked great or what?
I think it's pretty simple to use. Yeah, once you have the options to like put people in the background. Like I know Phil and Judd and Declan and those guys when they do their after Vikings like vent line show, they have you can get up to like 20 people in the background so they can just bring them on boop 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 right back to back and it's very slick.
Boop a boop a bop. I like it. By the way, Tom, you up to date? Tulsa King, did you watch the last episode?
We have one episode left because I'm holding off. I love that show.
Okay, the only thing, I'm not going to tell you anything else. I loved it up till the last scene.
Oh, no.
It's all right. I mean,
did they ruin it?
No, they didn't ruin it, but it's hard to say they ruined it when the writers for that last episode were Terrence Winter, who was The Sopranos. He wrote The Sopranos and I think was a co-creator, and Sylvester Stallone wrote the final episode.
How about Sylvester popping up for Donald Trump? I didn't see that coming, man.
Oh,
I know they're neighbors. Oh, yeah, Trump had a deal at Mar-a-Lago, I guess, and Stallone lives down the block. So he went to the thing. He's the greatest president of all time. He was getting up there really delivering the big message.
Okay, then this would not shock me if in season 3, Trump helps extricate him from the issue he has at the end of the final episode. That would be unbelievable. I even said that to Mike Bryan because he saw it and we were talking about it in a text. I said season 3 will open with Trump or with Dwight Manfredi making a call to Donald Trump, who he knew back in the 80s in New York.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
That would be phenomenal if he did something like that.
You know what's hilarious about that? Catherine and I were talking the other day. Last year, Alex went on vacation a couple of times.
Yeah.
And both times she ran into Sylvester Stallone. It's like, what? Okay.
Now, when we were in Vegas one of those times, he was at the table next to us at one of the
table next to us. Yeah.
But he was very, very nice. I mean, he
He
treated people. He wasn't a guy who would blow you off. He was very gracious to people that came up to him, and he just seems like a very likable guy because he knows where he came from and didn't forget.
Frank, his brother's a great guy too. He's a very nice guy.
Yeah. And by the way, did you ever see Fred Claus?
No, should I?
Oh yeah,
Fred Claus is good.
Oh, it's very funny. But there's a scene where it's like for siblings, like an AA for siblings, and Frank Stallone talks about Sylvester and how he has to deal with it. And they also have Bill Clinton's brother. Remember him?
Sure.
Yeah, Tom. It's like a less brothers of famous people, like an anonymous group, like an Alcoholics Anonymous, but for people that have famous brothers, and it's like. Like Bob's saying, it's like Stallone's brother. It's like it's
one of Alec Baldwin's brothers is in it.
Yeah,
the doughy one.
It's got to be Danny.
The doughy one.
No, it's not Danny.
It's not Danny.
No, it's one of the other ones.
I love Danny. Danny, we have to get him on the show now. I used to talk to Danny all the time. He's a great guy.
Yeah, and the brothers have had careers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not like Alec. And then the other one, the a-hole Baldwin, who's not related. You met him. Remember that one? What's his name? The other Baldwin who's not a brother who you met at a Wild game. What's that?
Oh no, you said it. I was thinking Steven, but I think I'm thinking of somebody else.
No, yeah, it's in the Fred Claus. Yeah, it's Stephen or Stephen Baldwin. Stephen Baldwin.
Okay, that's Stephen Baldwin. Yeah.
No, but you remember who I'm talking about, right, Tom?
No.
Yeah, there's a guy you talked about that you met at a Wild game, and he was he big timed everyone. He's been in a lot of movies too. He was in Independence Day. He was the guy
his first name though.
I can't either. Well, Tevin, can you look on Independence Day and see? There'll be a Baldwin that comes up. He's not going to be top billed, but that's the movie that comes to mind. There's other ones, a lot of other ones that he was in too. When you hear the name, Tom, you're going to know exactly who I'm talking about. But a lot of people
out with him?
You ran into him, I think, at a Wild game, and you told him
that's what it was.
What a jerk that he was.
Is it Adam Baldwin?
Adam Baldwin.
What was he in again? I can't even pick.
Well, he was in Independence Day. He's been in a lot of different things.
Adam Baldwin. Do you have a picture of him that you could pop up, anyone? Or we don't have to do it right now.
One second.
He played Major Mitchell. He was also in Full Metal Jacket. He was in The Bodyguard. He was in...
that's Adam Baldwin?
He goes,
no relation to the to the Baldwin brothers, and a lot of people thought that he was. So, but anyway, I'm surprised you will remember it when you see his photo.
Here we go.
It happened years and years ago.
Devin's popping it up right now. Adam Baldwin. Maybe I must have disliked him so much I can't even remember him.
You blocked it. Well, you know what? There's so many people you dislike. They can't all stay in front of mind.
Do we see this?
Yeah,
guy on the left.
Oh yeah, he's an arrogant prick. You're absolutely right. Yeah, he was. He was incredibly arrogant. Okay, why don't we close on an up note though?
Yeah.
Because we brought him up earlier, Chuck Foreman.
Yeah.
The first time I ever met Chuck Foreman in person, he was with a friend of mine, and I ran into him at a restaurant. This is Chuck Foreman. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I walk over. He stands up. He comes over and gives me a hug and said, I got to tell you what an honor it is to meet a legend like you. I started crying, for Christ's sake. It was like, Chuck Foreman said that to me? What the hell? Well, I mean, think about that. It literally made me tear up. I'm not kidding. That a legend like that man was that nice.
For listeners, if you're on social media, particularly on X or Twitter, start talking about how he belongs in the Hall of Fame because he's in the final 30.
How is he not in the Hall of Fame, for Christ's sake?
Because of Bud Grant. Bud wanted Jim Marshall in. Every year he pushed Marshall at the expense of people like Chuck. And that's in the Vikings, whatever Bud wanted, they did, and that's why a lot of these guys had trouble getting in, because he put his full support behind Jim Marshall every year. And Marshall is also one of the final 30.
Great guy, too.
He is, and he was a hell of a player. Yep. But if you ask me to rank the guys from that era, Chuck Foreman should go in first, Ed White second, and Jim Marshall third.
Oh, Ed White, he was another one.
Phenomenal. Ed White was a great. Chuck cried the day that he was traded to the Chargers. Yep. He had 2 careers, one with the Vikings and one blocking for Dan Fouts with the Chargers. I'm surprised the Chargers don't push him.
I don't get. Yeah, Chuck Foreman has got to be in the Hall of Fame, but I do agree with Bud. You know, I mean, not holding back on Chuck Foreman. It's just, how about both of them? Why don't we work on both? Well,
yes, but they didn't. And the stat, when people ask me if Chuck Foreman belongs, this is the only stat I give them, that he played 1 less season, right? Then Lynn Swann has more career receptions than Lynn Swann is in the Hall of Fame. And over a 4-year period had more receptions than any wide receiver or any other player in the NFL. He was the leading receiver in the NFL ahead of all these receivers. He had 73 catches one year. That was unheard of at that time.
Okay, I want you to do me a favor. This Thursday, I want you to give him a big kiss right on the lips for me.
Yes, I'll sure do that.
He goes, yeah, I got it.
Tom wants you to know he wants to meet you so he can give you a big kiss on the lips, Chuck.
Find out if Chuck can fight.
Oh, Chuck, I bet you Chuck would be a tough guy, man. No doubt about it.
Chuck was good at everything he ever did.
I agree.
Athletically. No, he was a state champion hurdler. I mean, he was a great basketball player. He would have been a great baseball player, but he quit like when he was young because the coach took him out of a game and he said, I'm done.
One of the nicest men you'll ever meet, too. Just a really nice man.
Terrific.
All right. Sandy, who's better than you?
You 3.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm a little on the fence about AJ.
Hey, you go back to verbally harassing those kids on Call of Duty, okay?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know how to use Call of Duty or what to do.
All right, Sandy, we'll talk to you later in the week.
All right, we'll see you.
Thanks, Bob. Bob Sansevere Sports brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant Personal Injury Lawyers. Seeking justice for the injured, contact Bradshaw and Bryant at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. Kristyn Burtt is up next.
Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold's do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? Inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
I hosted my show on the radio for 40 years. Now I host the Tom Barnard Podcast, and I'll tell you, I've never seen the passion and engagement from our audience as I do now. I know we also have businesses that listen to our podcast, and it got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to help those businesses grow by telling my listeners about them? So here's the deal. If you own or handle marketing for a business, would like to have my audience buy your product or service, visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and we'll put together an ad campaign to help your business. That's TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and thank you for listening.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kristyn Burtt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. Kristyn Burtt already with us. Your hair, is your hair the longest I've ever seen it?
Straight?
Probably not. I think today it looks really long because it's straight. I usually have it curled, so it looks like here. But during the pandemic, it was very long.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, good point. Very good point. So I got to tell you, Catherine and I had a hell of a day yesterday. Well, for two of the things out of three. Yesterday I watched there's a 90-minute feature about Whitey Bulger that's really, really interesting. Because it doesn't dig into all the stuff that you wouldn't want to watch. It was just how his brother was a politician in your home state, I believe.
Boston, and he went to Santa Monica. He followed me out here.
He did when he came out to Santa Monica. He loved Santa Monica. But so I watched that. Very, very well done. How one guy could end up, he was in the state Senate, wasn't he? His brother, Billy?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, Billy Baldwin was in the state Senate in Massachusetts. And then Whitey decided he'd be a criminal. And do you think that the United States government teed him up for murder? Because they transferred him to a prison he should have never been transferred to. He wasn't even there for 24 hours before they murdered him. I mean, that's amazing. What do you think?
It happens more than you think.
Well, so
I mean, Epstein was, I totally believe Epstein was offed.
Yep.
You'll never, as someone who's not a big conspiracy theorist, you'll never convince me that he committed suicide. Never.
Yeah. The string of coincidences that just so happened to be there,
right?
Yeah, don't add up.
Yeah.
But I mean, Whitey didn't even last 24 hours. He was murdered immediately.
It happens though. I mean, like if you get the right, no, it does though. I feel like if you get like the right people at the right time in the right place, and you don't want certain stories to ever see the light of day, all of a sudden they're gone.
I mean, that was amazing. So watching that was unbelievable.
Was that on HBO?
I don't remember. I think you might be right though.
Yeah, I feel like HBO Max had done a really big documentary on him.
But I mean, it's just how one brother could go this way and the other, and the brothers got along. It's not like they didn't like one another; they loved one another. One ended up being a state senator, and one ended up being a massive murdering criminal.
Well,
weird.
It's crazy how that happens in families, though, because I mean, even my brother's not a criminal; he's a very successful business person. But personality-wise, you'd never know we came from the same exact family. It's shocking.
So he's that guy actually got a personality. Okay.
Well, my brother's very funny. I'm not as funny as he is. He's good with the fast quips.
Does he still live in South Florida?
Yes, he's in Miami.
He's in Miami, so he's having a good time. That's good.
Yep.
And then Catherine and I watched the Elvis Presley movie they just released a short time ago, which is very sad. It's very hard to watch because the same situation. Grew up very, very poor in Tupelo, Mississippi, and how, the guy died at 42 years old.
So shocking. Like when you think about it, I just always, when you're growing up, you just always assumed, oh, he died really old or whatever. And they, it was always like skinny Elvis and fat Elvis. So I'm like, oh, he must have been in his 70s at that point. He just was like this fat guy. But you look at it now, as you get older, you're like, oh, he's only 42. That wasn't old.
42 when he died. Very, very sad, but it was really nice to watch. What a supreme talent that man was. There's no question about it.
Is that the Austin Butler movie that you saw?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, that Baz Luhrmann did.
Yeah, Baz Luhrmann was in it, as a matter of fact. Yeah, so yeah, it was that one. It was really, really good. And then we really polished it off following your lead, the triple play. We watched Landman.
Oh, good. I wrote that.
Holy
I was like, I hope that he is watching Landman over the weekend because Billy Bob Thornton, Ali Larder, John Hamm, Demi Moore. It's a good cast.
It is really, really. I've only seen one episode. They released 2, I think, on Sunday, like 2 a.m. on
There's
Sunday.
2 episodes. They'll be, and it's on Paramount Plus, of course, because it is a Taylor Sheridan show.
Yeah, what a
he is
shock!
Single-handedly, like holding up the entire network.
He is. There's no question. But that, well, first Billy Bob has been in studio. Well, not shouldn't say been. He was in studio over at KQ, and used to talk to him all the time. He was in a band that would come and play the State Fair once in a while. Just a really, really good guy. But you just named the whole cast. I will tell you, if you're going to watch that first episode and you get a little touchy about certain things, that final scene. Have you seen the first episode?
I haven't yet. And I will tell you that not a huge fan of Taylor Sheridan shows. This one actually piques my interest, to be honest, because of the cast.
You don't even like Lioness?
No, it's not really my.
Oh, I love Lioness.
I do too. I think Lioness is great.
Yeah.
What is Catherine dancing around behind
I don't
me?
know. I keep seeing her go by.
She's like dancing by. What the hell is that? What's that all about?
I don't know. She's like off to a good start on her Monday.
There's Judy. Judy just went by just now too. But yeah, Landman was. But you guys have not. None of the 3 of you have seen the first episode of Landman.
Not yet.
No.
The final scene's a little hard to take. I'll tell you that.
All right, we've been warned then.
Woo! It's I don't know how they put the visual together for that scene, but it was very impressive. Really, really good. But Billy Bob Thornton is always good, isn't he?
Oh, he's fantastic. He's such a good actor and so completely underrated and very interesting personal life as well. So he is colorful on all aspects of his life.
Yeah, no question. But so, yeah, it was a big TV day for us yesterday. You start out with a murderer, and then you come up with Elvis Presley, who dies at 42 years old. Luckily, I got to see him I think it was about a month or 2 before he died. He was at the St. Paul Civic Center.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I should probably look that up and see when that was. It was not very long before he died, though, I know that. But I'll close with that part, and then I want to hear what you've got to tell us, because you told me about all that stuff anyway.
Did you watch the new Billy Bob Thornton series?
No. Oh, wait a minute. Oh,
yeah, we got Mike Bryan in studio.
Michael Bryant's in there?
Mike, I didn't have your,
I'm like, what is happening?
Michael, talk again.
Did you watch that new that Billy Bob Thornton series?
We just talked about it.
Oh, that's what I'm wondering about. Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, Landman. It's called Landman. Really? Did you watch it, Mike?
No, I just saw it last night. I saw it was previewed.
Be ready for the final scene. That's all I have to say. It's like, whoa, really, really good.
I was finishing Tulsa King last night.
Tulsa King, I got 1 episode left.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good one. I mean, it's a lot of Stallone gives a lot of speeches in this one.
You don't like him anymore because he supported Trump. So now you're not a fan anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I was never a fan, so.
Oh, I was never a fan. Oh, now we got.
No, I said I liked him in Rocky, but I don't really. His movies aren't usually my jam either.
Could we call these Monday episodes Tom and the 4 Commies?
No, he broke up with his wife. They did get back together, but he broke up with her like over FedEx. Like he sent her a FedEx or a fax or something like that.
FedEx? Would he send her a package or what?
He sent her like a letter.
Huh. Wow.
Because he was having a fling with Janice Dickinson, the supermodel.
Wow. Okay.
Ooh, Stallone was?
Stallone.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. It's a very famous story. And Janice Dickinson actually details it in her autobiography. She's like, I was having this torrid affair. He was with Jennifer Flavin. I think she's Jennifer Stallone now. And he just completely dumped her over. I think it was facts.
Is she short like him, or is she tall?
Jennifer Flavin is tall too.
Okay.
Jennifer Flavin's I mean, she could have been a supermodel if she wanted to.
Can you imagine being a woman, though? Okay, Kristyn, you're an attractive woman. You're there. You're with Sylvester Stallone. He goes, take off your pants. I mean, when you go,
exactly
you know
why I would never date him.
Do you remember that audio you used to play at the radio station with him?
With Stallone?
With Stallone, yeah.
No, what was it?
He was in I think he was in a trailer with one of the people from the show, and kind of they were getting it on and what he was saying during the audio.
Oh God, that was a while ago.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wait, we had dirty talk with Stallone.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like, I'm so curious to hear it, but also at the same time, I could never unhear it. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. So anything? Yeah. So we went with Landman. We went with your state mate, of course. Oh, by the way, on my walk this morning, Kristyn Burtt, I ran into a guy from Boston. And we talked about you, and we talked about how lovely Boston is. And he said, the one thing, Tom, I've heard you say, that you thought the lobster in Boston was the best you've ever had. Go all the way up to Maine. It's even better.
What have I been telling you?
You have been telling me that.
Telling you.
You
Maine
have.
lobster is where it's at. And it'll be so cheap, and you'll be shocked at how it's like the price of a hot dog versus...
Yeah.
When you go to a steakhouse and they're like, that'll be $150.
Oh, is there a place you can't? You can go now for under 100. There's
I would say it's
God.
150. You know what? Steakhouses, they rip you off too. They'll be like, it's 150, and you get just the tail. You don't even get the full lobster a lot of the time. So,
really?
Yeah. So that's why go to New England, go to Maine. I would say go in the summer though. That is, go all the way. Kennebunkport is gorgeous. Gunkwit, Portland, Freeport. You go all the way up to the national park. Arcadia is stunning.
Did Catherine ever tell you her lobster story out there at Capitol Records? That was a good one.
The first one?
Yeah. I had just met Catherine,
yes.
and I had to go to Capitol Records. I got to go to the tower to hang out and do some work out there. And what the hell's the name of the restaurant? It's very famous.
Frankenmusso's.
Frankenmusso's.
Yeah.
And she said, I'll take this lobster. I don't even think she looked at the menu. She said, 10-pound lobster. I think I'm still paying it off.
Oh my gosh. And probably the worst thing, it was probably the most expensive lobster you've ever paid for, but also the worst lobster you've ever tasted.
Not good. It was not good.
Still tough. Yep.
Do not go above 2.5 pounds. If anyone's like going out there, 2.5 is your max.
It's true.
And if you need more than 2.5 pounds of lobster, then you order 2 lobsters. Like 2-pound lobsters. You'll be good.
Right. No,
so do you like eat the legs where you break off the legs and take the little meat and the juice out of the legs? And
and like the little shell of the tail.
Absolutely.
The little round part. They got that little meat in there. Like this is going to sound gross, but you literally suck every little bit of meat out of a lobster.
Yep, absolutely.
What do you mean it sounds gross? It sounds perfect.
Sucking it all out. I mean, but for people who don't like lobster, and I understand that, I do not eat, and some people do, the guts of
the green. The green.
No.
We used to call it loblolly. I don't know why that was called that because it's not the official name, but I don't eat that part. I do eat all the actual meat though.
My grandmother had a different name for it, like an E name or something, I thought. But
everyone has a different name for it, and I feel like it's a regionalism too.
And also that kind of custardy stuff that's on the end every once in a while. I never really like that either. I
just feel like that's like the fat of the
a little bit.
Yeah.
Loblolly is a very high-end golf course, and I think it's in
Ireland, isn't there, or somewhere?
Well, there's one in Ireland. And there's also one in Florida.
Oh, is there? Okay.
Loblolly, baby.
Well, it's also the guts of a lobster, according to some people in New England.
All right. Any closing tips? Because we had a magnificent Sunday yesterday because of you.
Oh, well, I'm glad that because I had Landman. I was like, I got to make sure that he watched Landman last night because I knew. You know what? Just because we didn't talk about it on Friday, Conan O'Brien will be the Oscars host for March 2025. And he is doing a lot of press right now, obviously talking about it. But he had the most lovely story about Robin Williams. So let's just leave on an up note. When Conan O'Brien got sort of ousted from The Tonight Show and Jay Leno came back in, which was like the craziest thing to happen in late night, Robin Williams called him and was like, just checking in to see how you're doing. And they were both big cycling enthusiasts. And Robin Williams was like, go down to this bike shop in Santa Monica I bought you a bike. You're going to go. And like, that's going to be your mental health. Like, just to get over this. He's like, you're going to come through and you're going to be okay. And I guess he had it decorated in the most Irish way with like shamrocks and everything else. But it was like a super expensive high-end bike. And of course, Conan still has it. And just the generosity of Robin Williams that we're still hearing stories about. If you see Superman, the Christopher Reeve story, you will hear more generous stories about Robin Williams, and like his legacy lives on.
I will tell you this, that Conan O'Brien was in the Elvis Presley documentary, and he's really good in it. You could tell he just loved Elvis Presley. You know, he and Bruce Springsteen are the major commenters in the show.
Oh, wonderful.
Really good. Really good.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to Conan doing the Oscars, because I feel like he's not too inside baseball of Hollywood, where he's a little bit more like Ricky Gervais on the outside looking in, which I think would make him more funny.
I don't think anybody's like Ricky Gervais, though.
I love him.
Nobody says edgy, and Conan will be funny in a way that I don't think he's worried about offending people the way somebody else is.
Kristyn Burtt.
You're not telling me to take off your pants.
Kristyn, take off your pants. That'll be wonderful.
I literally would like zip him up and run out the door.
Yeah, great closing this morning. That's all I know. Kristyn, thank you, my dear.
See you tomorrow.
Kristyn Burtt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. So, Michael, you ready to face the day?
All set.
Set, ready to go. Tevin, AJ, hell of a show today. We covered all the topics from that we were informed in the national news this morning. We were asked the question, why are now Jews now considered to be white? That was an actual headline this morning.
Where?
I don't know. I'll look up with it. Is it Reddit? Is Reddit one of them? Let's see. I mean, I'm just coming up with one of the many. Believe me.
Reddit's more of a
community.
I could post.
Yeah.
I could post.
Right.
Reddit. Yeah.
Right. But that's the only one that popped into my head because it's.
But
I mean,
message board than.
Yeah. Who cares about that stuff? Like, settle down, for Christ's sake. Relax.
Yeah. And tomorrow we'll see if we can dig up a potential dead body in Chris Eggert, see if we can resuscitate him back to life.
What the hell, sugar tip?
Weekend at Bernie's style.
I'm still vomiting. So what? Throw up on the show. Who cares?
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
That is going to do for this show. Back in 10 minutes with the family.